We will be discussing today other aspects of the theory that says that we can change the world economically. We can make more justice. We can be more just as people to each other. We will not use each other anymore. We will not pay taxes, and we will not definitely pay anything to the government. We will not have poverty, and we will make the ideal society. It may be a crazy idea, but it's an idea that is worth looking into, like all others in the human history. Since the Stone Age, the Agrarian Age, the Industrial Age, and of course the IT Age and the Knowledge Age that we live. Some of these ages may have taken thousands of years, but since 1975, there are two ages, the IT Age and the Knowledge Age. We have more information that we can do a lot of changes in the world. This knowledge that he possesses in this book is worth a lot of effort. And it needs a lot of effort from us all to prove that it is right or wrong. If we prove it wrong, then that one that proves it wrong will make $1 million, a reward from the man that wrote the book.
America, a great nation, and a great nation of inventions, and great nation of recessions. All these problems are caused by United States of America, which we are facing now. But here I'm going to help this great nation by suggesting that they float bonds on interest basis. My suggestion is that float bonds on non-interest basis. How it is possible? I will explain.
Okay.
If these bonds have to be floated, these bonds should have a massive incentive. What is that incentive? That $1 will buy 5 bonds in the first 30 days.
Okay.
In the second 30 days, it will be 4, rate will be 4. In the
So
third,
it will be higher
in the first month,
incentives at the beginning.
In the beginning.
Okay.
And the second month it will become 4, and then it will become 3 throughout the whole year.
Okay.
My few claims are there, which are the main thing. First claim is this, that recession not only will be stopped, but will be reversed in 30 days if this system is implemented in any country. Number 2, state implementing this system will collect at least 2 to 3 times of the annual budget in 30 days. Number 3, there will be massive employment by the state without any expense to the state. Production cost and the living cost will reduce by 50%, and there is a zero risk to the economy of the state implementing this system, and there is a zero expenditure by the state.
I do pay taxes over in the UK, yes.
Yes, very much. Yeah, South Africa, I think I was paying up to about 43% tax.
Absolutely. You have to pay taxes to help the country. The money gets spent on infrastructure. Well, the money because absolutely, Australia, United States of America, all of those countries, the UK, they pay money to the developing country.
Yeah, India is a heavily taxed country. They're pretty high. I mean, as compared to Dubai, if you earn there, the majority chunk of your salary goes to the government. If you buy any car, you have a value-add tax added to it. It's almost double the price as here. So I don't know the numbers. I mean, I'll have to go back and check, but it's a good percentage.
Yes.
Why?
Because it contributes to society and it contributes to an economy. Well, because then how does a country build infrastructure and community health programs and hospitals and education? Where does a country derive income from?
But before that, I worked in the United Nations for 5 years, and I didn't pay tax. So well, there are There are debates about that, you know, in terms of who's going to pay for the public services if there's no taxes. How are the funds going to be managed? And that's the justification. I mean, whether that's the right way of doing it is another debate.
High taxes are a problem. I do mind paying that if you're not getting anything in return for that. Taxes should pay for things like schooling, medical, and certainly in South Africa that's not the case. The medical system is a mess, I believe. Certainly the government medical system. The private medical is still okay, but that's extremely expensive. Schooling is, well, one of these days they'll find out what the curriculum is going to be. They haven't even decided on that as far as I know. So, yeah, the taxes are, I think, over the top.
Do you think a system that is built on generating money from the people would make it possible? And the second question I would definitely ask is, how can these poor people afford to buy these coupons, from your experience?
Without saying, I'd really like to congratulate Dr. Khan for thinking through these very interesting and novel ideas and coming up with this model. God knows that the whole world is in deep crisis, economic crisis, and we need new ways of tackling the problem.
Okay.
I think he has done a very good job, and it needs to be thought through and examined and see whether this really will work. Before I make one general comment on it, let me just respond to your question.
Okay.
I think the economy is not divorced from the issue of governance. The first thing is, do people have faith in their government? Is this a legitimate, trustworthy government?
Okay.
Do you trust this government with your resources? It's the government that's going to be playing the key role of price setting and coordinating
implementation.
Right, the whole business of these bonds.
Okay.
At the moment, or at least in most countries, it's institutions like banks, whether they're public or private, that deal with these issues. It's thousands of producers, thousands of service providers, and it's through the market system that these decisions are made. What Dr. Khan is suggesting is that there is going to be a central authority that's going to play the role of setting the prices.
But will it have a say over the multinational companies? Governments in the West do not have a say over multinationals.
The governments in the industrialized or post-industrialized countries technically don't have, they don't rule the multinationals. There are enough loopholes for them to play outside, primarily to avoid taxes, but also in terms of their production and where they want to move and the movement of capital from one country to the other. The fundamental issue here is that unless you have a functioning government, a credible government, a government that people trust with their own resources, I think this is going to be a pipe dream. I mean, sorry to say this, but I think this is going to be an idea, excellent as it may be, that won't fly because people will not jump on the idea. They will not be willing to buy these bonds. The second point I'd like to make in a place like Somalia, and Somalia is too generous. It's a very unusual case because there is no central government. But even when there was a central government, I think the issue of the government handling this massive intervention in the economy requires a very trained manpower. It requires a very sophisticated levels of skills to manage this kind of elaborate sort of, even as for a small country. And more importantly, how do you ensure that this system will not be exploited? That you are a small country, a small economy, and you open for whoever wants to buy these bonds, how do you ensure that a small...
You mean there are no tools to do it as yet? I mean, is it...
From what I heard now, the issue of the first 24 hours, who has the capital to buy the 100,000 sort of lots. But I haven't heard, are there quotas? Are there limits to what an individual or a group or a company can buy? Or can a few players really dominate the whole buying and selling and use that for their own purposes?
Dr. Khawadri, you are listening to this discussion.
Yes.
What input you can give us?
You see, I'm very skeptical.
Yeah.
To abolish altogether the taxes is to kill a philosophy, a social philosophy of allocation of burdens among people in a society. When we are taking taxes, we have an idea. We want somebody who is consuming, for example, to give a part. But most of the taxes, the direct taxes...
But he's telling you, direct or indirect, he's telling you
abolishing it means destroying all the philosophy and all the so-called allocation of burdens. We have now 5 centuries where we were discussing the meaning of tax.
No, but he said he's replacing
the
currency.
He is offering a game. You buy with $1 5 coupons. I don't know how those will see. If somebody who will show you the 5 coupons, whether they will give you vegetables for it or nothing.
No.
Okay, the coupons,
Okay.
He also killing the idea of the money.
Okay.
He is making a surrogate, which is a replacement of the money by the coupons. This is very, very dangerous.
So are we going backwards?
Yes.
We're going backwards.
200 years.
So, I mean, you don't think this is an alternative? I mean, I asked him, is this an alternative currency?
Yeah, because he is not abolishing the currency. The people who are having in their pockets 10% of the great national product,
okay,
they are asked to go to the government, get for $1 5 coupons, next month 4 coupons, and then to make a trade with those coupons.
All right, so
this is... First of all, this is
an incentive that he's offering.
This is a destruction of the whole economy. We cannot afford one day, if we have in any place a budget, we need every day the revenue from all taxes to maintain...
Thank you very much. Dr. Khan, what he's saying, just let me put the question right.
Yes.
Right? He's saying that you are destroying the economy.
Taxes.
No. He's saying that by eliminating taxes, by abolishing interests, by making this system, that's what he's saying about the system. He's not taking one item.
Yeah.
He's saying you are destroying a long history with this current economic situation in the world. Now, what is this? Did you mean at any stage that these coupons are in some way an alternative currency to the dollar or to the whatever dinar or whatever it is? Or is it just a parallel currency? I understand that you will have to use these coupons internally inside the lands, but not outside the land. The other point that while you are answering, please tell this gentleman that if you have, if these coupons will help the economy as a whole, will help the businesses, or is it helping the individuals? How can it be used for businesses?
Okay, now first thing is this. The option is this: government says why the taxes are taken. Why the taxes are taken to run the economy. If taxes are not taken, then how they can run the economy? That means actual crux of the matter is money. If the money is not there, generated through the taxes, is there any other way through which the money can be generated? And if the money can be generated through other way upfront, then the government has option to remove the tax or keep the tax or increase the tax.
But you make it look as if it's about money, about collecting
Yes,
money.
it is collecting money. There is
It's
nothing.
about collecting money.
Yes.
It's not about setting up a system.
No.
All right.
No.
So the system, the old system will apply.
It is still the same.
Okay.
There is, if the government says I have 10 times more than the budget I have got it, but I still want taxes, let it be. There is no question that we are saying taxes can only be removed if the government wants it. If the government has, only my claim is this, that if the government gets 10 times more amount of money, whole year budget in 1 month,
Okay.
will he still apply taxes? This is what my aim is. But if he wants to apply, let it be.
If you can generate within 30 days, not 24 hours, 30 days, if you can generate from 2.5 trillion to 30 trillion, that is 10 times. Why do you need taxes if
This
you
is
have
an
this?
illusion, sir.
How?
The money we are printing, the money is an equivalent and counterbalance to our great national product.
Okay.
So if it's not the sense that we go to and milk and get money together for the government, in what we are fighting now about 1% increase in one tax.
Okay.
Let alone now to say the government made a trick and it got assembled together 10 times the budget.
So
It
Dr.
means-
Khan has the magic stick to make it work. The problems of the world now are caused by these governments.
Yes.
So how can you trust these governments to have these bonds and then sell them to the people and make the richer much more rich?
Okay. It was a very valid question. They are also selling the bonds to China, to everybody. You can go and buy bonds. They are buying. Banks are buying bonds. Who is trusting not?
So you mean people can go to the States
and
from
buy-
China
Yes.
and use the bonds inside America, but they
America-
cannot use it in China?
China is worthless paper.
But I mean, without taxes, without paying taxes on it there.
Because these bonds are, whenever you buy government
No, but
products,
that's you do now. I mean, when you go to England, for example, and buy with pounds, and you are an expatriate, they give you, they deduct this value-added tax.
value tax is 12% or 3% or 14%, but you have to export it. You cannot use that thing. If you buy this thing, you have to export it. VAT will be given back to you once you leave the airport. They have a receipt. You cannot do that at that. Yes.
Okay. Now, you are saying these governments are the cause of the problems of the world in one way or another because they don't have the right strategies, they don't have the right planning, and they don't have the right thinking, and you are coming with this theory, right?
Exactly. This is what.
Good. Now, when taxes came about,
Yeah.
and I think I will ask them to say something on that matter, they came to help
Yes.
the people.
Yeah.
The welfare state.
Yes.
Like, for example, in England,
Yes.
the Churchill government lost the elections for the Labour because of the welfare state that was offered or promised by the Labour government. The Conservative lost. Others we can talk about later, like in America. America legislated these taxes to help the classes, to help the people, and they're taking from the business person. They're not taking it from the poor people. They're taking it from the rich and the business people, and they are repaying it to the poor people or to the unemployed or to the people in healthcare or in other things.
If there is an alternative system, tax is a forcible thing. You have to pay. If you don't pay, you go to jail. And if there is a system where there is no tax, there is no black money is gone. All money which is being hidden, it will come into the market if there is no tax. This is the biggest drawback of the tax system. People avoid tax even while going to the jail. So if the tax and the money is not collected that much, money is also peanut.
Dr. Ali Galai, can you comment on what you heard, please?
Thank you. I think what Dr. Khan is suggesting is a novel idea. It's a very simple notion of how governments can engage and manage their public finances without a tax burden on the people. There are two aspects of what he is suggesting. One is the issue of how the government will sell these bonds. There are a whole series of questions that I'll come to, and probably we will be able to discuss. Okay. How do you decide how much of these bonds you are going to sell?
Or to print, for that matter.
Yes. The doctor suggests that probably you will have in the first month 10% of your budget. Governments and the demand on government services are always increasing, and there is no guarantee that the budget of today will be the budget of tomorrow. So the crucial issue is, in order to avoid printing coupons and really introducing massive inflation, how do you decide the magnitude of what you are going to print and to sell? That's okay. One. Two, in terms of the main purpose or the main theory here behind or is driving this argument is not only no taxes, but it's to help the poor and to have a more egalitarian society. What is really baffling is that the doctor assumes that the poor will be in a position to buy the bonds.
Which is questionable.
Which is very, very questionable.
Yes.
The people who have the ability to buy are the well-off already. Those who already have the resources will be able to buy, will get the when it's 5 dirham or dollar per bond. They will really clean the whole whatever is there. For the poor, who normally don't even have any bank accounts, normally don't have very much in terms of cash, there may be talk of some of them saving and putting under the mattress. But the thing that has to be, and this is something that we cannot take on face value or on a purely on faith, the poor simply will not be in a position to buy. And if they cannot buy, they cannot have access to these bonds, and they will not be able to purchase, to take advantage of the incentives, the discounts and all of that, and to purchase the government-provided services.
Okay.
The third point I'd like to make is that the bonds are not only it's not a fiscal, it's not only the budget side of things.
This seems to be, as he says, a fix for all problems.
It's a fix for all, but more importantly, what concerns me here is the monetary implication of this. Yes. You have dirham here, you are supplying these bonds, you are flooding the market with these bonds, and initially you say this will be purely for selling or providing public services. But even that is a big component. But his aim is to have it for the whole economy. This will have a linkage, a very, very strong linkage to the monetary policy of the country.
Out of 299 million Americans, 1950, out of 305 million Americans, including the so-called the illegals, only under 3% have in their life ever purchased a treasury bond.
95% of Americans don't have a passport.
I am just talking about the bond.
Bonds.
The people, everybody should buy a bond.
Right.
May I ask you how this bond looks like? No bond is issued. Tell me the content of this bond.
Yes. This will be a debit card. Go to the bank. Bank will fill up now.
No, I mean about the deed. You give the guy.
No, it's not no deed.
You give him a deed.
No deed. No deed.
Nobody will purchase without deed, sir.
It is not a deed.
The bond, the treasury bond, is a deed. It's written, United States of America, pay to the holder on 31st of December 2012.
This is
2 million.
Yeah,
This is a bond.
this is a bond. The
No,
government
he's using it as a Visa card.
as a Visa card. He's
Not
not going
as
to give
a-
to
not
give
as
back.
a-
He's not government.
That's
is
why
not
this.
taking
But
it
that's
back.
why his bond is different to the other
Other
bonds.
bonds. He's not going to give back.
I mean,
Government
those
is.
bonds with those government guarantee,
Yes, it is government guarantees. Government.
not less than 3% of the American have ever purchased them. He want the whole population
Might-
to buy bonds.
You
No,
understand?
And
the
yet
logic-
instead of
the
You
logic-
you understand?
Dr.
signed by
the logic,
the
the logic he's trying.
Logic-
signature,
No.
the Treasury, Secretary of Treasury.
Okay, the logic that he's actually explaining is the fact that you can generate a lot of money.
Money.
But
Right.
nobody will give you his greenback
No, that's
for such
Okay.
a promise.
Okay. No.
He is not talking about how to do it legislatively and
Definitely.
how
No,
to.
no,
make
no,
it.
no,
You have to
we
see
have
how
to sell those
how the
I will
legislation
explain.
works for it or
We
doesn't
have-
work for
we
it.
have to
Okay,
sell it.
No, I will explain. You are an American citizen. Government says, buy these bonds, go to the bank. The bank will offer you, when you want it, 100,000 dirhams bonds, in which denomination you want it. They will give you the denomination, and they'll give you the bonds. It will be written on that bond. If you return it, this bond, government give you back the money. But at the
There
rate
is no
of...
bond like that, sir.
Well,
A bond,
My
is,
dear, bond-
is a promise
It is a
of
promise.
an authority to pay at a definite
The-
term, time.
This
That's-
is not
that's
that bond.
That's
This is
the
not that
actual.
bond.
That's the actual bond that
This
is
is not
actually
the
being.
bond.
But this is not his bond.
This is not
Okay,
that
his bond will say, pay to the holder after 1 month
no.
from
Now
this.
these
No,
are
no. You have
These,
not
these
understood
are
at
detailed.
all.
What
This-
he's doing, he's having an exchange. The
This is
exchange
your-
for
this is
dollars,
money.
you take
They
coupons.
take
These
this
coupons
bond
will
and
be
spend it.
will
Straight
be
away
made
spend it.
legal. Will be made legal. What he's
So
trying
it's
to
a
say.
currency. It's not a bond, sir.
My-
It's another currency.
Yes, you are right.
An
now.
alternative
This is
currency. He
it.
called
This
it a
is
bond.
It's okay.
No, he
Yes.
called it.
Don't call it
No,
bond.
he
Okay.
called it a coupon.
We shall
All right, call it a
do
coupon.
whatever you
So
like.
you want to exchange the currency of the United States
Yes.
in order to solve the problems of the United States.
Which is a very
Yes.
long legal matter
Yes.
anyway. So
This is what it is. Understanding is slightly different. One thinks that this is about. Another thing is this. Government also promises you, if at any time you want to give these bonds back, I will take it back. It will be a guarantee. You take it back, but at the rate of 5.5.
But if they take it back,
Yeah.
you reintroduce the dollar again, sir.
They will.
You are
Nobody
not
will.
exchanging.
No.
You
you-
are putting
he doesn't want to eliminate the dollar.
No, we are not eliminating the dollar.
He doesn't want
putting
to eliminate the
additional
dollar.
currency.
Yes, it is
He
additional.
is not.
parallel
And
currency.
from what he says,
And
he does not
increasing-
want an
and
alternative.
increasing the indebtedness of the public government by the same amount. Any bond issued by a government
This is not
is
Now,
a
that
what
bond.
he's saying,
This
what
is
he's
not
saying,
that
very
bond.
simple. Let me
Is a
simplify.
debt.
Let me simplify what he's
This is
saying.
not that
taking his
bond.
dollar,
He's
giving him a paper.
saying he goes to a mall.
Yes.
And in that mall, he gives people coupons. And he tells them that if you buy it this month, at the beginning, you will get so much discount. If you buy it next month, you will get less discount. And what he wants these coupons to work as an instrument or as a tool internally, not externally. Can you come please to this?
Focus on exactly what the issue here is.
Yes.
Are we talking about a credit card? Are we talking about legal tender? Legal tender here is, as Dr. Ghadri was talking about, is whether it's the US dollar paper or a bond, there is a commitment on the part of the Treasury, the American government, that the government is committed to stand behind this for the value that's stated and for the maturation period.
Okay.
If what Dr. Khan is talking about is a credit card, is a piece of paper or a plastic piece that says, here is a coupon for 100,000 dirhams, a coupon. We have to find out, and he has to specify, what is the legal basis of this?
Okay.
How do you come up with, we know what a bond is, we know what a coupon is. What is he suggesting? What will be the legal basis for this?
for you to do that, I think we need to work into the instruments of developing a result-oriented program.
Yes.
Okay, now let me just finish the question so that you can answer and take your freedom. Now, your social responsibility made you think of this book as a salvation to all people, poor and rich. You wanted more social justice. You wanted the people to have a better partnership developed between them, all classes. And you wanted to be poor-focused in the book. You are talking about poor-focused. And at the same time, you are not actually putting a program for that harmony in society because the rich is going to buy and the poor is not going to buy. Who has the majority of the money in the country?
It doesn't matter.
But they are the ones that are going to buy the coupons.
Let it buy, but okay, you say
no,
that.
That's the question. I mean,
the question is, okay,
raising it so that we can have answers
No,
to it.
all right. Do you coupon buy it, and what will you do with the coupons?
You purchase.
You purchase, and then after that, what will you do?
You buy more coupons to purchase, to live. But if it's going to cost you less,
okay.
Then you have more dollars. Than
No. You buy coupons, and then what will you make? 10 ACs in your home?
No.
10. What? It is good.
You will take the needs that actually you need. People buy what they need and what they want.
This is what it is. So even poor person has got the 5 rate. He has got the 5 rate. He will also do the same thing. He has got employment. His cost of production has come down now. Electricity has come down. Telephone has come down. Oil has come down. Everything has come down.
Assuming that the rich man
can
have more value.
So what?
For buying, let's say,
what?
Car, house,
Coupon doesn't buy a car. Coupon doesn't buy a house.
No?
No. Who says you this?
I see. Okay.
It is not possible to buy coupon, house, car, or anything.
So there will be a limit to what you can buy.
No, it's in the government sector. They are buying. This currency is only replacing the dollar in the government sector.
No, we don't like paying taxes in Australia. Speaking of poverty, I mean that's you know, we could all do a lot more. You know, maybe we could introduce some taxes so we could, you know, help out you know, the underprivileged people in obviously this society and globally.
Well, nobody likes paying taxes. Well, as we pay 20% at source, but it's not evident to the eye. But you know, if we can not pay it, we would prefer not to pay it. If it's offering a service that's going to enhance our way of living, we would probably prefer to pay it.
Yes, I was paying taxes in the UK, that's correct. It was something that was part of my life. I had to pay taxes because of the way the country is organised and how we provide for the services around us. So if I like it is one way, but it's something I think is a necessity for some countries for actually making them operate correctly.
Well, I can't justify taxes because taxes go to the government and the government needs to help the people, so it needs to have some money to spend on services that they should provide to the people. So yeah, for me taxes are justifiable.
The tax is fairly high, although I believe it's come down in the last few years. I haven't been there for a while. It was up at about the 42% mark. I believe it's a little bit lower now. Well, that was lowered because there was an election fairly recently, so maybe that's what caused it.
43% of your salary, and then of course there's other indirect taxes, VAT, tax on petrol. I'm sure if the government there wanted to put a tax on breathing, they probably would do it if they could work out how to.
I'd love to live in a society where there's no interest, no tax, no poverty. You know, it'd be fantastic. It's everybody's dream.
Dr. Qadri, do you have any other questions or comments on what is being said?
No, I am very, very happy to see a new utopia. He will abolish altogether all conflicts in the society and in the economy. Okay. He got a very interesting, no tax, no interest, but commission. You love commission and you hate taxes.
Yes.
This is very nice. So as a botanist, I would say he got a very nice bouquet. And I think we will hardly win the $1 million. And next time I am going to sit to earn $1 million, I will ask for the security that this $1 million must be put on the table before starting discussion.
Government will say, give me this and I will give you these bonds. Where will you use these bonds? Government says, use it on all my government services, not private sector. You give bonds instead of dollar. What is the formula? $100 bill you can pay off with 200 bonds. That means you are paying only $40 instead of $100. This is one. Second thing is, will be government says, if you want to take advantage, you can take 10 million duty-free option if you give 100,000 to the government. Third thing, government says, there will be $10 million draw every day in the country. These bonds will be sold by unemployed, poor people, and it is quite easily that it is not, no salary will be paid to them. They will work on a commission basis. 10% commission will be given to them. It is up to them to share this commission with the investor or keep it for himself. And they will have a quota of $300,000 per month, or they can sell their quota, whole year quota, in one go. These will be done through an agency which the government will select by bids. The lowest bid will be accepted. Second, third, and fourth highest bidder will become his auditors. The auditor fee will be paid by the company which is selected, and anything found wrong, then there will be fine of 10 times of the amount involved, out of which 50% goes to the company who detects this fraud or mistake, and 50% goes to the government.
Thank you. Dr. Ali Galaid.
I'd like to congratulate Dr. Khan for taking his time from his very busy schedule and coming up with this book and thinking through a totally different model of managing the economy of a country. I think it's a good effort, but any economist, if you want to look at a new theory or new idea, especially when you are dealing with the public finance of a nation, you have to show how this actually will work. Most economists, at least, will give you equations. You take your assumptions, you try to look at, on the basis of what assumptions you have made, on some rigorous analysis of saying, if this is done, then this is how the economy or the equation will move. Thus far, from the last 3 or 4 episodes that we have had the pleasure of taking part, we're still going back and forth on this assumption, simplifying assumptions, which Dr. Khan is entitled to make these assumptions. But the one assumption that really everything hangs around to is that the people will buy these bonds. That this is the big if. That the people will be willing to buy, and the people who will buy, despite the assertions of Dr. Khan, with $100,000 sort of deposit or at least worth of purchases, that itself really disqualifies the great majority of people. Yes, Dr. Khan the other day said probably this NGO, this non-profit organization which the government sets up,
the non-government organization,
okay, will get this, will have the first go, and then there will be others, second, third, fourth hand, that there is going to be a secondary market for this. But it's still, the key assumption here is that unemployment is going to be dealt with, and the poor will have access to the buying and selling of these bonds. That is again a big assumption. The poor will not have enough money up front. The poor will not have in any financial transactions as such, if they can't come up with that, they have to prove they have the capacity and to be able to sell. They have to have the reputation, and that the legal system in the country has to recognize them as people who will be able to really get on with the work. So one simple issue here is wonderful job in terms of coming up with this new model, and I think it has to be given at least the benefit of the doubt, but we have to be at least convinced at the theoretical level, and also for economics, and particularly in an area like public finance, one has to really put all the facts and all the different components of the theory on the table, so we'll be able to dispassionately look at them and see whether these really hang together or not.
You see, in my country, in 1940, we used to have a very complicated currency. You see, and if I start mentioning it to you, everybody will get confused.
No, I know that all the GCC countries used to use the rupees at one time.
Like even if you look at the English currency, they used to be shillings and penny.
I know. 12 pennies to the shilling and all this.
Yes, in rupee they used to be 16 annas.
Yes.
Now for a poor man or for an illiterate man to understand and multiply 16 times that many times, it's a difficult thing, but it was happening, it was taking place. So people do get aware.
Gold, which you are mentioning.
Gold was the second thing which I told you. A poor man always will have some gold at home. Maskeen even. I mean, for his daughter's marriage or son's marriage, he will do beg, borrow, whatever he will do, but he will give some money to his son, some gold, and that gold is lying in tons, at least in Pakistan, which is doing nothing. So his program can very easily unearth that thing, and it can happen in a poor man's house, and it can happen in a rich man's house also. So these are the perspectives that must be understood. Dr. Ali talked about taxation. Yes, the world economy depends on taxation. Today it's working on taxation. That's how the government runs.
And
they
bank
tax people.
interests.
Yeah, they apply tax, and they take the money, and then they run the government. His program, which if it's to be understood clearly, is that it takes its birth from tax. So here I would like to have this point corrected, that the tax will not go, the tax will be there. You see, but his program moves away from that tax and gives the benefit to that person, which is absolutely illegal. It is very incentive.
So you believe that you can provide these people 50 to 60% less to the rates that they are paying now for purchases?
Yes, for purchases, yes, you can. But again, that's where I'll be coming in to him and firing him on that, because that's where the apprehension is, and that's where I told him that there are no takers. That is where the whole thing lies. As far as the poor people are concerned, Dr. Ali, if a man, he has to pay 5,000 to become an agent. Now, if he has become an agent and he has paid 5,000 rupees, and there are millions of them who would have done that. So then for the government, it becomes, of course, it will still be open. There will be a lot of hanky-panky going on, in the sense that, let's say, if a government is there, they would like to give that benefit of an agent to his political people or political agents, or things, or all their sycophants. But then there is a danger that with 5,000 people having paid by these individuals, if such a hanky-panky takes place, then there will be a big uprising. Those people will uprise, they'll come up. So against that fear, I think the poor will benefit out of this scheme. You're talking about bringing life into business. Then there is, when this money upfront is collected, then the government, what it's supposed to do is, it is supposed to, then the lender becomes the government. It's no more the bank. The bank money, as he is anticipating, would go to the government now. So now the government becomes the lender, and
so the governments are not the threat under the threats of the banks or international monetary funds or
who?
The banks are not under any threat from anybody.
No, they are not. I mean, they will buy this.
If they have all the money that they need,
no.
Why should they be?
No, they will buy the bonds because they will benefit out of it. You see, the banks will benefit. There's a big benefit in that, and they have the money, 100,000 and above. They will have. They are the people who will be doing most of the buying. Okay. The finance institutions, they will be doing most of the buying, and they will almost go empty. They won't get empty because in the private sector, like what he was saying, that there is a different formula, and for that money will be required. So the banks will have money, but they will lose. Maybe more than 50% of the money will come to the government. So now the government becomes the lender. So the government then says that, okay, I will give you $20. No, I will give you $80. You bring me $20, and we make a joint venture with $100. You take 60%, I take 40%. So that fear that you had, that there will be a spurt in the business, and when there will be a spurt in the business, in addition to these agents, there will be a very big demand for labor over there. You see, because there will be increase in industry, there will be increase in trade, there will be increase in with the government doling out money and becoming a partner, 40% partner in each business. You see, so, and of course this will be done through the bank to keep it transparent. Now, that is where what your fear was, that is going to be compensated there. And there will be a spurt because this upfront money the government picks up, it is supposed to go and give it, it's supposed to invest there will be a public government partnership.
What is wrong with the old systems? Aren't there any policies to look after the poor? Can Dr. Khan continue to claim in all that he says that he can eliminate poverty, he can stop taxes, and he can eliminate interests? He can make more social justice? He can eradicate terrorism through a system that is actually neither declared to be capitalist or socialist or any of the other kinds that we hear of. Many economic systems in the world. Which system this is? It is not a replacement for capitalism, nor is it a replacement for socialism. So what system is it?
It is a system which is going towards eliminating of poverty. It is a system which, what is poverty? Poverty means you don't have money. Poverty is the mother of all ills, all ills. If you remove poverty, all 99% of the ills have gone. My system is this, that you generate money to the government and the government gives you back.
I want to see the link between a theory and processes and procedures for that theory to be implemented and its implication on the social justice.
There is no way without social programs. It's not regular education, because money, even money with education, regular education, will not make the change, because we need to change the personality of people.
The attitude of the people.
Personality and attitude.
يعني لا يغير الله ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم.
No way. There is no way. There's no way. Even the people will accept this program and they will accept this system. How it will work without these values?
Tell us.
There is no way.
Tell us. We want to know. The people out there, they want to know. Can you tell us how you can link such a good theory that Mr. Sikandar thinks of?
We need to start with kids. With kids.
Okay.
In schools, mosques, churches, all these institutions, to teach the people how to be people, how to be good people, how to cooperate with each other, how to love each other, how to live, how to all these
How long
Islamic,
will this take
how
us?
these Islamic,
We're all in the 60s now. How long will it take us?
those in the 60s, they are good people.
Let me explain. Let me explain. Yes, it is a very good point. It's the education. Through education, we can do everything what he says.
Okay.
Education is the mother of invention.
He was talking about programs.
Yes.
One of them is education. There are other programs.
No, there is education
Not regular. The teacher has to talk about all these personalities without or beside the curriculum, the regular curriculum.
No, exactly. Now the
beside
teacher,
it is not built in.
Side by side,
we need to look at all these programs.
Teacher has to have a good salary. Teacher only will teach if his tummy is full. If there is no problem, he will teach the children. So our education, our system.
Now tell me, how will you apply this in Pakistan?
Why not?
You said high revenues through your system.
Yes.
Low revenues through the present system.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you talk about loans will be acted differently. The government will be able to say, okay, I have no more burden on my shoulders,
yes.
and I will pay back all those that gave me money.
Yes, exactly.
And then you will have then more social justice.
This is how it will come.
Okay. Can you tell me about Pakistan, please?
Yes. Pakistan is at the moment there is a terrorism. This is the main cancer which is eating Pakistan from its roots. How can we remove terrorism? From where the terrorism coming? From those areas which are absolutely poor, destitute. The land is it's mountain. There is no cultivation. There is no industry, nothing of the sort. We give them this, that there will be 1 million people employed. What are they doing? Building roads. They are building hospitals. There will be hundreds of industry will stand up there. The government is doing that. And they will get all this thing. There will be free ration. Where is the terrorism? Terrorism will vanish within 3 months.
Okay. Now, Mr. Sikandar, Dr. Khan says terrorism is caused by poverty. And I think to a certain extent he is right. What is the implication by saying that people are not actually patriotic? They should not resist America and its influence in Pakistan. And by giving them more money, they will not resist America, and they will not resist neo-colonial powers of the world. I mean, isn't that really undermining the intelligence, the independence, and the demand for being independent by Pakistani people? Is it really poverty that is the cause of this? Or is it the influence of the supreme powers in Pakistan? And let's say the evil supreme powers in Pakistan.
Here again, I would repeat my earlier contention that we have unfortunately now added politics to a very economic subject.
No, but is it really poverty?
What you are saying now is something totally different. You see, we were here to discuss the economic program.
Yes.
But when you talk of honesty and dishonesty and
no, but
all
people
these things
are patriotic.
These are the patriotism and all these things, social values, education. These are all very much a part of it. They are a part of it.
Yeah.
You see, so what my point of view is that once you have the money coming in, then that money solves many problems. And whatever we are talking about will, inshallah, happen. It will take place and it will improve. Why? Because there is a prosperity coming amongst the people itself. Once the prosperity comes among the masses.
Tell me an answer to this. Are the political agendas of Pakistan, right, having invited the Americans in the way they did, added to what you, between converted commas, call terrorism? Because terrorism to a Palestinian is not terrorism.
Yes, it has added to it. And unfortunately, our politicians, now we are going to a different subject.
No, we're not actually. I just want to know that.
I have not learned their lessons. And it's very sad that they have not learned their lessons. And, they are continuing to do what they should not be doing. Like what he said, if you're talking of patriotism, they're talking about other things, then we should be bringing reforms. We should be bringing changes. We should be bringing good governance. And with
Thank you, Dr. Sikandar. I will have a minute for Dr. Shandavil and have a minute for Dr. Khan.
I do not like the word terrorism.
Yes.
I like to call the people who commit crimes criminals according to the law.
Okay.
Not just those people who fight. Those some people came to their country, and those people do not like foreigners and colonialism. They fight back according to the law.
So by eliminating poverty,
or not,
okay. By eliminating poverty,
it's not only. No, it doesn't work. But it helps.
Okay, Dr. Khan.
Yeah. Why these superpowers are doing? We are beggars. We are having our, these begging ball in front of them. So they put drones into that. You know what is happening? They are bombing those zones in which a lot of civilians are going. So that when the civilians are died, there might be 2 or 3 terrorists. But how come they become terrorists? They were poor. They get money from the other agencies. And these states, they do these things. When we look at them, so they say, take this, but you have to take this as well.
Conclude, Dr. Khan. 20 seconds.
Yes.
Conclude, please.
Yes.
What do you want to conclude?
I want to conclude, aid will be finished, will gone, and terrorism will be gone because there will be prosperity in every country who adopts this system. America is just like a giant oak tree economy with rotten roots, dying leaves, and hollow barks. At any time, this giant tree will fall down, mighty tree will fall down, and will bury all the nation under relaxing under shade. And everything has been proved right.
After a hot discussion, we came to the end of today's episode on the economic revolution of the century. But before I conclude, I would say that we need a strong economy to build an economy that we need for our future generations, whether here or in the States. In the universe, it's for us as humans. It's not for one nation at any time, and will not be. We need to share cultures. We need to accept each other, and we need to speed the process of learning from one another, accountability, and seek collaboration and quality of leaderships. I hope your dream will come true, Dr. Khan. There is no one opposing your dreams, but we all have the right, democratically, to challenge you in that. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next episode 1 week from now with the economic revolution of the century, author Dr. Niaz Ahmad Khan.